the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Welcome to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Midway point of the season, Cade Wazan, Jimmy Roy, Todd Black, and our cast of thousands. Taylor Sharp producing tonight's video, Ryan Kennedy on the audio, and everyone behind the scenes getting scores and making tonight's show possible, including the team at Walk-Ons. That is our Sunday home for Louisiana Prep Weekly. They are feeding us tonight with some delicious Tuscan chicken, some delicious green beans, little sauteed tomatoes on top.
It's got to be healthy, huh?
It's very healthy. It is very delicious, and it is one of the many great menu items you can get at, we were talking about it on Sunday. Remember the consistency you get? You're going to get that from all of the great locations of Walk-Ons in and around our area. And if you were looking to do yourself a favor, download the Walk-Ons Rewards app, where you can earn points towards getting some free stuff down the road.
Loyalty points, huh? Do you have loyalty points for our show?
For listening, like if you add in all the hours you've listened and things like that,
right?
Maybe we can work that in.
And come out Sunday to Walk-Ons in Zachary. We're going to have Central High School as a guest. And 6 o'clock, Louisiana Prep Weeklies. Come on out and support Central and Walk-Ons.
Yeah, and a great atmosphere, I was told tonight, over on the campus of Central High School at the football stadium tonight. They hosted South Lafourche. We all know what's been going on with the Galliano cutoff community and parts and around that area. For them to get on a bus and play a football game is even one thing when you consider there's what the coach and AD said, he's still got a group of players don't even have electricity quite yet here, and we're starting the month of October. So thoughts still with that community, but great to see them able to get a couple hours, get on the road, play a little football, and maybe think about something else just for a little bit.
They had a good showing too, Jimmy.
Yeah, 28-14 at half, 7-7 game, 14-7 Central, and then 21-7. They answered right back, made it. South Lafourche made it 21-14. Kids played hard. Central was just bigger than they were and a whole lot faster than they were, and eventually they took over the game. But really, really a good game, good showing for South Lafourche, I thought.
All right, so to start off tonight's show, if I opened or used a segment last week to talk about how well STM did in their win against Neville, I got to be fair and say, hey, Neville came out and took care of business with their neighbor across the street.
Well, before our show even gets started, I want to apologize to the audience for Todd Black if he gets a little crazy tonight because they were and a whole lot faster than they were. Because Neville did come back, show up tonight and beat West Monroe and beat them convincingly, 28-7. Again, Todd, the A.J. Allen show, he put up, around 370 last week on 20 carries against STM in a loss. Again, how many? I know you have his stats.
Yeah, he had 31 carries, 250-plus yards. And, amazingly enough, we talked about John Curtis getting pushed around. I think something happened after that St. Thomas More loss for Neville because they came out, they played really hard from start to finish, and they ran the ball at will. And this was without their starting quarterback for the most of the time. And very impressive 28-7 win over West Monroe. It was probably the first time I think they beat West Monroe in some time, but it was a big win for Coach Jeff Tannehill. And if they play like that, they'll have an opportunity to make a run at the championship. But this Carr team looks really strong right now.
West Monroe, Neville's first win over West Monroe since 1995.
A well-officiated game, too, by the way.
Yeah, well, officiating was very good. And, they need to keep that quality officiating up throughout the season, especially for West Monroe.
Todd, we talked. One of my notes was talking about A.J. Allen, and we talked last week. If he would have got the ball 10 more times or 5 more times last week, they probably would have won against STM. Tonight he goes from 20 carries to 30 carries. You got to keep him fresh. I understand that. And one of the things that I wrote in my notes was, can they find enough offense to beat West Monroe other than A.J. Allen? You don't see a West Monroe defense or team usually get beat by one guy. It's usually you have to have several different weapons where they can't focus on one. But Neville was able to do it. Will Campbell, obviously the number one tackle in the country or in the state for sure, committed to LSU. He's a big factor there. And, when we had Jeremy Lyell, put big boy behind big boy and good things happen. So.
Right. And look, their offensive line played well, offensively and defensively. Held West Monroe to 7 points. West Monroe really couldn't do anything, and it was against a public school too. And that's even kind of more surprising when you, as Harley doesn't like playing private schools. Well, he struggled there, but A.J. Allen, as I told Jimmy, TCU better hold on to him.
Yes, and look, you know it as well as I do. Bigger schools are coming after.
Absolutely.
They're coming.
Battleford was out, but he got back in the game late.
So he was out early, and then Anzalone, I think, took his spot, which is backup, and then he went out with cramps. And with about the last touchdown drive, I think Battleford came back in. But there are a lot of big running back debuts or big games up in North Louisiana tonight.
Another one, speaking of backup quarterbacks getting in, it was Ruston taking care of business over STM tonight.
Yeah, Ruston with a surprising 51-27 win over STM. Walker Howard went out with some type of injury. We do not know the extent of it. I don't think it's anything major, but he did miss that. But regardless, Ruston was up 44-14 at one point. And they, Coach Ball up there has done a phenomenal job. We talked about their schedule that they've played over the course of the year. It's been brutal. There's no excuses. He'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. It doesn't matter. They have a workhorse, Dyson Field. Here's the thing with me that worries me. Coming into tonight, he was averaging 30 carries a game. And I would be willing to bet he probably touched it that many times tonight, Todd. At some point, they're going to have to give him a break. But he's one of the better running backs in the country. Kyle Williams, the ex-LSU player, Buffalo Bills, great. He's the defensive coordinator. They are so close, Todd. You take away a last-second win,
Yep.
a loss to Neville in week 2, one or two.
Yeah.
They're undefeated, and they are so close to joining that elite status in the state. And you've seen this coming for the last couple of years.
They have, and STM Ruston's offensive style does not fit what St. Thomas More likes to do. They're going to pound it. They're going to run the clock. They're going to make you impatient. And tonight they had a lot of success doing it. And Ruston is a really good team.
But on the flip side of that, if Ruston's able to do that to St. Thomas More, if they're able to control the clock, pound the football, run it down their throat, eat up time, does that put pressure on STM to respond? Because they know their touches are going to be limited,
right?
And then they start to panic a little bit also.
Bringing it back home a little bit, and speaking of quality running backs, it was Dutchtown making the trip over to Ouachita, and they are coming home with the W.
Real good game for Dutchtown. We Jimmy and I both liked it. Thought that it was a great idea to go up there. Ouachita plays a little bit different brand of football, going to be a little bit more physical. It was 20-14 at half, and defense made some great adjustments. Offense handed the ball to Dylan Sampson, a little bit to Pearson Perron, and they just couldn't stop him in the second half. Old boy said on the radio, said he's tired of watching Dylan Sampson run up the middle. But I think you're going to see Dutchtown become a little bit better on offense, a little bit more in rhythm, because they're going to hand the ball to Dylan Sampson a lot more than they have been.
The biggest concern I have with Dutchtown is are they, and you think they will, are they going to be able to get enough offense from somebody else? But the big thing is when they key on him and key on him and key on him, it's going to open up things for other players. The opponents are going to try to take away Dylan Sampson in district. There's no doubt. Now, can Dutchtown answer that? That's going to be the biggest question.
And they'll put that in the hands of their quarterback. They trust him that much, and he's really good at being able to read the defense and some of these RPO actions.
How many yards did he have tonight?
250 with 3 touchdowns.
250. So he needed 100 yards going into tonight to pass Eddie Lacy as the all-time leading rusher in Dutchtown history. So congratulations to Dylan Sampson.
I believe Walker Howard passed his father on the all-time passing yards list at St. Thomas More. I believe it was either third or fourth.
He had 329 if I looked at Jimmy's notes correctly.
Who was that? I'm getting text
Walker
on
Howard. Did you have, or was that from last week?
Last week.
Oh, that was last week.
I may have his Season stats?
Yeah, I think he passed
Season
his father
stats
as far as
1,237 yards, 12 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. We have a heck of a ball game going on. I'm getting texts trying to keep up with it right now. Dunham and Southern Lab is in overtime right now at 20-20. So that's a good one.
Well, looking forward to seeing all the results tonight. We're going to switch things up and give you a full scoreboard. And coming up in just a couple of minutes, we have a special guest that will be joining us on the phone.
Coach Bryant Sepulvado, he is the head coach of Captain Shreve. They are 5-0 with a win last night over Parkway.
One of the few 5-0 teams, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. But let's get you caught up on scores right now, and we'll start first in the New Orleans and Bayou area.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
East St. John defeats Hanville 8-3. GW Carver 15, LB Landry 13. Sean Rummel will play tomorrow, and Jesuit over Holy Cross 51-7.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Natchitoches Central 23, CE Bird 10. Benton 42, Houghton 21. Logansport 38-24 win over Rose Pine. Neville 28, West Monroe 7. Manny a 44-31 winner over Red River. Sterlington 45, Jennings 14. Huntington a close one over Evangel 36-34.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Notre Dame defeats Cecilia 13-3. Catholic of Baton Rouge over Lafayette Christian 38-17. Ruston a 51-27 winner over St. Thomas More. Church Point blinks Eunice 35-0. Iowa shuts out Pineville 42-0. Carencro 45-12 winner over St. Martinville. And Westgate 28. Lake Charles College Prep 12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Amite over Lakeshore 40-28. St. Paul's shuts out Hammond 35-0. Franklinton 47, Bell Chase 33. Slidell and a squeaker over Mandeville 36-35. St. Thomas Aquinas 19, Archbishop Hannon 6. Springfield 42, Ben Franklin 12. And Varnado shuts out Bogalusa 26-0.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Dutchtown over Ouachita 42-33. Episcopal 42-12 win over Catholic Point Capee. Parkview comeback win over West Feliciana 23-22. De La Salle defeats Scotlandville 41-32. Edna Carr 56, St. James 14. Zachary a 35-28 winner over Woodlawn of Baton Rouge. And Central of Baton Rouge 56, South Lafourche 21.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. We'll now jump on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and we are proud to join Captain Shreve head football coach Bryant Sepulvado as they get the win over Parkway 46-21 and are now a perfect 5-0 on the season. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Well, I appreciate you for having me.
Coach, we put a little Cajun twist on names every now and then if you're all right with that.
It works for me.
The first thing I want to ask you about is, first of all, congratulations on another great start. Your second half adjustments have been pretty good. Last night you outscored Parkway 32-0 in the second half, and earlier in the season against North DeSoto 30-0. What's going on in that locker room, or can you share that with us?
That's an ancient Chinese secret, man. No, it's just, like I said, we've in both those ball games, we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot and had some, turnovers on offense, some penalties, and given up a couple big plays on defense. And really, like I said, we've made a few adjustments. I think we have a really good coaching staff that does a good job of it. But really just kind of, getting the kids settled down and focused in and kind of dial back in and playing our style of ball has been really the big difference.
Coach, you talked last night in an interview I saw online today about playing a complete game and that your team hasn't done that, and that some of the things that have hurt y'all were self-inflicted and things that y'all could control. What are some of the things that you need to work on in that regard?
The main thing is just playing well down to down, and I really think that's on both sides of the ball. And I think the one thing that our kids do really well is playing hard. And I've always said, as long as you're playing hard in high school, you got a chance. And our kids are playing really hard. We're just not always playing smart. Defensively, our Achilles heel has been a little bit, it's giving up big plays. And so that's more from, not having eyes where it's supposed to be and looking in the backfields and things like that. And offensively it's been really, penalties, and drive the ball, and you get a holding penalty that kind of may stall you out a little bit. So just things like that. So those things we're stressing daily for those kids to kind of clean up. Right now we've, with, say, lesser teams, but, we're prepping for trying to make a deep playoff run. Just kind of stress to the kids that if you're playing with those top teams that are up there every year, you can't dig a hole and work your way out of it. And so just kind of stressing that to the kids every day.
We were talking about this earlier today, Coach, and your district prepares you for those deep playoff runs. I think Natchitoches Central beat Byrd tonight. But, you've got a lot of teams in there that have gotten stronger over the years and really help you prepare to make that deep playoff run.
Absolutely. And people have said all the time that, our district's kind of like the SEC. Anybody can be anybody on any given night. And that's pretty much true. Kind of seen that, especially, there's a lot of parity the last 2 or 3 years. It's no guarantees, and you've got to play every week. So I think we have a strong district that's pretty competitive. And you can see, every year the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place team in district are making it to the second round of the playoffs. So I think that testifies to the strength of the district.
Coach, we obviously don't get to see y'all play any up there except little highlights. Tell us just how good Kendrick Law is.
Very good. Like I say, he's very talented. He's big. He's fast. He's strong. He's smart. Got a high football IQ. He's very good. He's also – I don't think you can define him by just stats because I'm telling you, everybody this year has done I'd say good job, but assigning 3 to 4 guys to him every play. But he's one of those guys that set up the rest of your team. We've had other guys having a breakout year because he's drawing so much attention. They're getting the one-on-ones. They're getting the soft edges and things of that nature. But he plays offense for us, plays some defense for us. Number 5 last night for Parkway is a phenomenal athlete. I think he's one of the best athletes in the state also. He can roll, and he beat us on a couple of deep balls and put Kendrick on him for the rest of the ball game, and they give up a touchdown. So just, he's one of those guys who kind of changes the whole dynamic of the ball game.
But having a football IQ like you say he does is important because a lot of times kids will get frustrated.
No, he understands the big picture and he sees what's going on and understands his impact. He understands that, people really aren't kicking the ball off to him anymore, but that's why we're getting really good field position because guys would rather punt it, 20 yards out of bounds instead of kicking it deep to anywhere he might be able to get it and, put him on defense and they won't throw that side of the field. And offensively, same thing, using him to, getting his yards, but also using him to set up things up. So he gets the big picture and he understands it. He's one of those guys, I'll tell you, even through the whole recruiting process, he's not a big me guy or anything like that. He's used his connections with the college and everything else when they talk to him to really push some of the other guys that we have, like Kelby Givens and Braylon Finney, and a lot of those guys there help get them exposure. So, whoever ends up getting him is going to have a great team player and just a great young man.
Coach, you returned 8 on offense from last year. Who are some of the other guys besides Law that you've been leaning on this year?
It's been a good team effort. I think we have offensively a lot of weapons, and Braylon Finney's having a breakout year at receiver. He had a solid year last year, but he's getting a lot of the one-on-ones. He's got probably Southwood Cancel. So he was in the top 10 in the state in receiving, and with a canceled ball game, some other guys have kind of passed him a little bit, but he's got probably close to 500-yard receiving, probably 6-7 touchdowns. He's done a really good job for us. Running back Matt Hall, Matt's kind of a sleeper. He's one of those guys that I really think that when a college takes a chance on him, they're going to get him. He got injured last year in the very first practice we had, missed the entire year. So Pee-wee's finally just now getting his recognition, but Matt's a 4.4 flat guy. Going into the game against Parkway, I think he was averaging like 10.8 yards a carry. Matt and those guys, we've had a couple unsung heroes too. One guy that kind of helps us go is number 34, William Moore. He plays H-back, tight end. He's one of those smart football players. He's one of those guys, if you saw him in the hallway, you probably wouldn't pick him for your team, but you put him in shoulder pads and a helmet, and he's one of the best players on the field. And so, so it's been really a team effort. We've had, a lot of guys get a lot of opportunities this year, and it's been very exciting.
Coach, I asked somebody that's familiar with your program what has made coach successful. And he responded, his success comes from surrounding himself by other really good coaches, along with being an excellent coach. The kids like playing for him. The culture surrounding the school has been greatly enhanced with a really good administration. And we know administrations can make you or break you.
Oh, absolutely. We're has benefit of our principal. She was actually all-state basketball player in high school. She went to Benton High, and then she got a golf scholarship to North Texas, and then decided, she wanted to go back and play basketball. So started 2 years for LSUS and basketball. So she understands the importance of athletics, and also, she's very competitive, and she's going to try to give you the resources possible, and set high expectations. I mean, her being a former coach, she understands how to challenge people, support people, and do those things. So she's the type of lady that, anything we do, we want to be good at. So she has that from the academic side to the athletic side. It doesn't matter. I mean, she's one of those people, if, we're playing tiddlywink, she wants to win it.
She sounds like she's your A. Coach, she sounds like she's your A player on the scramble team.
No doubt. She is. And I always laugh. I mean, she's, we do a golf tournament in spring, and I always say, look, you ought to be hitting back there from the men's tees. And she's like, nope, I want every advantage I can get. So no, she's good. I would definitely take her in a scramble, or I would take her in a pickup basketball game. So either one, I would take her and like my chance. She would pick up the slack of what I can't do anymore.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck as you guys move on and continue district play.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, coming into tonight, I believe 3 teams, including Captain Shreve, were undefeated in 1-5A. It's an 8-team district.
Yep.
A lot of teams and a lot of good teams.
Yeah, and Natchitoches Central knocked off Byrd, which was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what Benton did tonight. They were actually 3-1 coming into it. But, Jimmy, the principle they have is what every principal in this state used to be like.
Right.
A former athlete that supports athletics, and they could make good decisions for what's best for athletes.
People do not realize how important the administration is until you have a bad one or a good one and see the difference. It's huge. Talk real quick. We're fixing to go to the scoreboard, Kay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get back to Natchitoches Central Byrd next break.
All right, let's before we get to break, get you caught up on scores. We'll go through the Baton Rouge area and the New Orleans Bayou area, starting first down in NOLA.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Chalmette, a 45-20 winner over John Ehret. St. Augustine and Brother Martin will play tomorrow. East St. John 8, Hanville 3. George Washington Carver 15, LB Landry 13. Shaw and Rummel will play tomorrow. Jesuit, a 51-7 winner over Holy Cross. And Vanderbilt Catholic and St. Charles will also play tomorrow.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Dutchtown, a 42-33 winner over Ouachita. Episcopal 42, Catholic Point Capite 12. Liberty and Estroma are still in progress. Parkview come from behind win 23-22 over West Feliciana. De La Salle 41, Scotlandville 32. Edna Carr 56, St. James 14. Zachary, a 35-28 winner over Woodlawn and Baton Rouge. And Central 56, South Lafourche 21.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Rolling on inside this week 5 edition, the midway point here in the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. And it's time for us to once again jump on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and we're joined by a Victoria's head football coach from Dutchtown, Coach Guy Mistretta. They get the win over Ouachita tonight on the road, 42-33. Coach, congratulations on the win. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Coach, congratulations. Talk about this road trip. This was a add-in game, correct, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, we actually had an open date scheduled this week, before district started. But when we lost our week 1 game to the Hurricane, we had North Shore scheduled, and they're having a really good season. When we lost that, we just felt like we needed another game, to make up for that one, and wanted a tough opponent. So I didn't necessarily want the long road trip, but it's something that's going to really help us down the line, hopefully in the playoffs.
Right. Todd and I have talked about this, and people, the way they do their schedules, and us having obviously the history we do with you. You've always liked to kind of make that road trip somewhere, even if it maybe not that far, but for a couple-hour trip, just to have them ready for the playoffs. And I think it pays dividends. It's not going to be a stranger to them if you play in every game in Ascension Parish.
Right, and that's kind of our setup with the North Shore schools. We played both North Shore and Covington now for, I guess this was our 3rd year, and we've got them both scheduled the next 2. we play one on the road and one at home, and it gives us that opportunity to go on the road early in the year.
You know, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about Dylan Sampson right off the bat. And, you know, Dylan's unique. I had a player tell me it was maybe a week or two ago that, you know, he broke a big run and he came back and told the kid that made the big block, that's all on you, man. Good job. Yeah. And, you know, he's committed to Tennessee. He's just a good kid that sees the big picture.
He does. I'm going to tell you, I tell recruiters all the time, you know, we've been obviously fortunate to coach some really good football players. This guy has less red flags than anyone. You know, you look deep into anyone's schoolwork, character, all those issues, you're going to find something. And this one just doesn't have it. You know, he's a 4.2 student. He's comes from a great family. Most humble guy you can imagine for a really good player like that. And y'all know, great running backs and humble don't come in the same sentence very often.
Well, nor does someone having a grade point averages that matches their 40 either.
That's right.
4.2. Well, hey, but it's also your offensive line, Baylor Langlois, your quarterback, and it just seems to be all clicking. And I know we're only in week 5, but you got to be happy to where your offense has progressed.
I am. We've got a long way to go. We had two opportunities in the red zone where we didn't come up with points in the first half and ended up down at halftime. But overall, just the O-line is just, they're coming into their own. They're all healthy finally, playing really well. Pierce making really good reads in the run game. You know, still developing that passing game is something we know we need with a guy like Dylan. And then Baylor Langlois, I mean, just a super compliment to Dylan. He had a really big night for us as well.
Coach, we know you're an old defensive guru back in your coordinating days. Talk about your defense and who are you guys there?
Yeah, we got some really good leaders stepping up on that side. We had opportunities to really dominate at times tonight. We started off the game with a couple of 2 and outs, or 3 and outs, sorry, and they came back with a couple of trick plays and really put us on our heels. Got us kind of questioning our reads, and you know how that goes. And didn't finish the half like we were capable, but came back out in the second half and just played lights out. Just really, really happy where they're headed. I can tell you, the end of the game we didn't finish quite like we wanted to. Had a couple of 15-point leads that they cut into twice in the last 4 minutes, and so we got to kind of clean that up.
Well, man, you have a safe drive back. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, and congratulations on a big win. I know you're proud of your team, and you should be, and we appreciate your time.
You got it, man. Not often I get up here in your territory.
Go see Mama Black on your way.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
have a great night, guys.
Thank you. You know, I think Guy is one of the most underrated coaches in the area. I really do. I don't think he's been given enough credit for what he's done at Redemptorist, for what he's done at Livonia, what he's doing at Dutchtown. He's going to run a clean program. He's going to do things the right way. You can question any coach's play calling or defense, whatever you want. And I'm telling you, I'm thrilled. I had the opportunity to coach with him, and I'm thrilled my son had a chance to play for him. I think Guy's one of the best.
Well, as a head coach, do your thing. I mean, you get inside the 30, he's going to tell you, all right, you've got 2 plays here. And meaning when it gets to third, 2 downs. And but all of those little things like that, he's on top of all the time. And he is a very good coach, but Coach Guy's kind of under the radar. He likes things like that.
He does.
And and the kids respond to him. They've gone through a lot, and hey, they're clicking, and hopefully they'll keep doing that because Chris Harrell does a great job for him on defense, as does Coach Janice on offense.
Who they open with in district next week? Do you know?
It's Woodlawn.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Yep.
Going back up north, Cade, real quick.
Yeah.
Natchitoches Central and Byrd. Both of those teams coming to the game 4-0. Byrd, just, I guess you call them the Division I state champs last year since the forfeit from Catholic High. 23-10 winner tonight, Natchitoches Central over Byrd. That's Byrd's first regular season loss since October 31st of 2019. James Wilkerson, the head coach up there, he's a former at Natchitoches Central. He was a former assistant at Byrd for 10 years, so he knows the program inside and out. The biggest thing with Natchitoches Central, they've only allowed 27 points going into tonight. So now it's up to, 37 points is all they have allowed through 5 games. They're playing defense, and if you're playing defense that well, you're going to be able to stay in a lot of games. And Natchitoches Central hadn't been, I don't think had been 3-0 since like 1996. So how long has it been since they've been 5-0?
Here's a good question. People, you see this spread all the time. You see people trying to throw the ball. When it comes back to wins and losses, it's who can play defense and who can run the ball. And that's that'll never change, I don't believe. And that's just the basics. If you can run it, you can play defense, you're going to be successful.
That's right.
And we've seen defense travel. We've seen good run games travel, and we've seen teams come back home with those victories. That 1-5A district still real competitive, so we'd be really keeping a close eye on it. Well, we're going to get caught up with our correspondents from around the state coming up in just a couple of minutes. Around the state. And we'll start first here in the New Orleans Bayou area.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Chalmette 45, John Errett 20. St. Aug and Brother Martin will play tomorrow. East St. John 8-3 winner over Hahnville. George Washington Carver 15, LB Landry 13. Archbishop Shaw and Archbishop Rummel will play tomorrow. Jesuit 51, Holy Cross 7. Destrehan shuts out HL Bourgeois 45-0. And Vanderbilt Catholic and St. Charles will also play tomorrow.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons. The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Natchitoches Central beats C.E. Byrd 23-10. Benton 42, Houghton 21. Logansport 38, Rose Pine 24. Neville 28-7 winner over West Monroe. Manny 44, Red River 31. Sterlington a 45-14 winner over Jennings. Huntington 36, Evangel 34. And General Trask shuts out Vidalia 48-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ove Como 44, Sam Houston 23. Notre Dame 13-3 win over Cecilia. Catholic of Baton Rouge 37, Lafayette Christian 17. Ruston a 51-27 win over St. Thomas More. Church Point shuts out Eunice 35-0. Iowa 42, Pineville 0. Carencro 45-12 over St. Martinville. And Westgate 28, Lake Charles College Prep 12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Amite defeats Lakeshore 40-28. St. Paul shuts out Hammond 35-0. Franklinton a 47-33 winner over Belle Chase. Slidell point better than Mandeville 36-35. St. Thomas Aquinas over Archbishop Hannon 19-6. Springfield 42, Ben Franklin 12. Varnado shuts out Bogalusa 26-0. And Riverside 43, Albany 34.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy as we are getting ready to get on our Lafayette area correspondent, Ben Love, here in just a bit. Give you a couple of Thursday night scores. It was Avoyles over Winfield, 40-12. Ouachita Christian over St. Fred, 25-7. Ponchatoula showing why they're one of the top teams on the North Shore in Class 5A, 49-7 over North Shore. Captain Shreve, as we talked with their coach earlier, getting the win over Parkway, 46-21. Donaldsonville, 40-6 under the water tower over there in Kentwood, and EA better than Walker, 48-28.
Don't sleep on St. Frederick's. They're a good football team, very good defensively. They were up 7-0 at half, and things kind of unfolded from there. But up until then, Jimmy, they hadn't given up many points at halftime.
No, and Ouachita Christian was held, which we know how powerful of an offense they can have.
Mm-hmm.
St. Frederick's held them to 55 yards in the first half. I can pull up stats real quick from, let's see what they did last night, stat-wise. It was really impressive, their defense, both defenses. They held Ouachita Christian for the game 152 yards. But here was the difference. Ouachita Christian had a 33-minute to a 12-minute time of possession. So it sounds like it just kind of wore them down. But, yeah, St. Fred's, both of those teams were undefeated going into the game.
Coach there is Andy Robinson, who I believe was previously at Ouachita.
Okay. And I think one of the better coaches in the state is Stephen Fitzhugh up at OCS. He does a phenomenal job year in, year out. It kind of reminds me of what Travis Bourgeois does at Episcopal.
And they were a big winner tonight.
They're a big winner over Catholic of Point Capee, but the uniforms change, but the results stay the same. They just keep winning.
Let's jump back on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline and join our Acadiana area correspondent, Ben Love. Ben, a week after St. Thomas More gets a late win over Neville, come up short against Ruston this week, 51-27, and some tough injuries, especially at the quarterback position.
And, guys, I'll tell you, I'm surprised. We had Karen Crow at Ruston. We called that game a week ago up there, and it was a field goal at the gun that gave Ruston a win. I was surprised when I kept updating my phone, seeing the result tonight. I wasn't surprised that Ruston would be able to move the football. Their running back's outstanding. I was surprised that there wouldn't be that punch back. And I know that Walker Howard sustained some injuries tonight, but what I can tell you is this. All the rhetoric that Walker and that offense missed Jack Besh, missed Carter Arsenault, I'm going to tell you, I think it's pretty clear at this point, they missed Bryce Bouillon. They missed some of those defensive players. What Ash and Ruston have done to St. Thomas More, it's been remarkable. So that result to me was unexpected, but all the credit in the world to Ruston, Coach Ball and company. They've got a 5A power.
But, Todd, we always talk about matchups, especially when it gets to the playoffs. Karen Crow's probably a better matchup for Ruston because Karen Crow's used to seeing that physical style of offense. They see it every day at practice where St. Thomas More is not. So it's a contrast in style, and I think that played to Ruston's advantage tonight.
That's a great point.
Hey,
look,
I was going to move on. I'm going to stay in that same district, but, Westgate, a winner over Lake Charles College Prep, and Lake Charles College Prep is one of those teams that we thought were going to be there at the end of the season.
So here's what I'll tell you. You take Westgate, Karen Crow, and St. Thomas More. Those two were state champs a year ago. And then Turling's Catholic, which is undefeated. And you put those four into a bag in District 5 4A. I'm really not sure who you come up with right now. Turling's has beaten Notre Dame of Crowley. Turling's has beaten Barb. They beat Bro Bridge tonight. That's the best football team that Dane Chaponche's had since he took over as the head coach. So when I look at Westgate, they have the capabilities of winning this district. It's all going to come down to who's the healthiest. Do you have some of these games at home that matter? It's going to be interesting. I know that Karen Crow starts next week at Turling's Catholic, but the STM Westgate game will end up being a big one. All credit to Ryan Antoine and Westgate. I knew they'd be a team this year that would factor in. I think we've seen STM and probably Karen Crow come down to the pack a little bit. Turling's Catholic is rising up a little. It's going to be, I think, one of the state's more compelling districts.
And Westgate's only loss was week 1 to LCA. Mentioning LCA, LCA and Catholic High played a good game tonight, 38-17. Catholic High is your winner, but I think the biggest difference in this game was the turnovers. Lafayette Christian actually outgained LCA. Lafayette Christian outgained Catholic High 392-321. LCA had 8 penalties to Catholic 6, but 5 turnovers for LCA seemed to do them in tonight.
Yeah, turnovers. And again, I wasn't there, but I would bet that the Catholic line of scrimmage, the offensive line of Catholic especially, probably had a little bit more pedigree than LCA was ready for. Again, I know that LCA just came off a game against Acadiana, but I think the Catholic of Baton Rouge this year is a horse of a different color than Acadiana or anybody else that LCA might have seen.
Right, and Shelton Sampson had a big night for Catholic High with 4 catches, 103 yards. He's coming back. It's only his second week to play from injury. And let's talk about your Crow Bears.
Man, they look good tonight.
Yeah.
They played Vince Derwin, St. Martinville Tigers, and a game where they trailed 6-0 after the first quarter. They won 45-12. I think Karen Crow's headed in the right direction. That Karen Crow at Turling's game next week is very intriguing to me. Karen Crow's won the last 2 matchups. A lot of those games are close. I've called at least one overtime game of that series in the last 5 years. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that Tony Corville's got a team that's on the rebound. Guys, they lost 3 games this year by 8 points.
Right.
They lost to Acadiana, Lafayette, and Ruston by a combined 8 points. So they'll still be in the thick of it. I don't know about state championship level good, but I think they got a chance this year to be pretty special.
I think he's looking at my notes through the TV or something. But
and
you look at that Lafayette, the 3-point loss there was overtime. Ruston was the last second, walk-off field goal. So they could easily be 4-0 going into tonight, 5-0 now.
Yep. Yeah, there's no doubt. And so much turnover from the state championship team a year ago. So still finding their way. But I'll tell you this about the Carencro Crow game tonight. One thing I will tell you, that quarterback is starting to really earn his stripes. Kevin Falk's nephew had been the starter for 2 years. Chance Caesar, I think, is finally starting to come of age, starting to run the football. You add him to that split back veer attack, and he runs with confidence. They're a little different animal.
Ben Love, as always, we appreciate your knowledge from the Acadiana area. Look forward to talking with you again next week.
All right, guys. Good weekend.
Thank you.
As Ben Love, our Lafayette area correspondent. Coming up, it's hour number 2 of the Week 5 edition. Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Holy Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
ESPN Baton Rouge. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
Halfway through the show, halfway through the season, Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Ryan Kennedy on the audio board tonight. Taylor Sharp producing video. We got Skip behind the scenes gathering scores with Will. We got Reese. We got Charlie somewhere in the cloud helping us out as well. We appreciate all you tuning in on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 104.9 FM, 98.1 HD2. You could be listening on 104.5ESPN.com or the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app, or two ways to watch us, the 104.5 ESPN YouTube page or on Cox Sports Television. So lots of ways to tune in and get yourself caught up with everything that's happened in prep football around the state. Let's go ahead and get you caught up with scores statewide, all 5 regions covered, and we'll start first in the New Orleans Bayou area.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Chalmette defeats John Ehret 45-20. St. Augustine and Brother Martin will play tomorrow. East St. John an 8-3 win over Hahnville. George Washington Carver 15, LB Landry 13. Archbishop Shaw and Archbishop Rummel will play tomorrow. Jesuit 51-7 win over Holy Cross. Destrehan shuts out H.L. Bourgeois 45-0. And Vanderbilt Catholic and St. Charles play tomorrow.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by peak performance.
.24. Neville 28-7 winner over West Monroe. Manny 44, Red River 31. Sterlington a 45-14 winner over Jennings. Huntington 36, Evangel 34, and General Trask blanks Vidalia 48-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Ove Como 44, Sam Houston 23. Notre Dame 13, Cecilia 3. Catholic of Baton Rouge 38, Lafayette Christian 17. Ruston a 51-27 winner over St. Thomas More. Church Point blanks Eunice 35-0. Iowa shuts out Pineville 42-0. Carencro 45-12 winner over St. Martinville. And Westgate 28, Lake Charles College Prep 12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Amite a 40-28 winner over Lakeshore. St. Paul's blanks Hammond 35-0. Franklinton 47, Bell Chase 33. Slidell a point better than Mandeville 36-35. St. Thomas Aquinas 19, Archbishop Hannon 6. Springfield a 42-12 winner over Ben Franklin. Varnado blanks Bogalusa 26-0. And Riverside 43, Albany 34.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Week 5 edition. You know, one of the scores that stood out to me as we were going through, wrapping up the hour, a score that came in a little bit late, was Dunham getting the win in a couple overtimes over Southern Lab. Lab coming into tonight's contest, the number 3 team in Class 1A behind Calvary at 2, Ouachita Christian at 1. Very good team in Lab, but a very nice win for Coach Weiner in Dunham.
I think Dunham was Dunham actually jumped up on them 7-6 at half, trailed 20-7, came back, tied it, and won in overtime. I think may try to get Coach Weiner on a little later in the show and get his thoughts on that game.
So, Cade, there's a guy that's been helping us through the years who is going to take a great step for himself and cover LSU for USA Today. So we have Mr. Adam Hunsucker on for one more time to tell him thank you. And, of course, I know he wants to cheer the Neville Tigers on over their big win over West Monroe.
Well, it's funny. This is what I told Eric Herndon, Neville's strength coach, came up to me after the game and gave me a hug and said, I don't know, that's about as good as we can do. And he was spot on his assessment. Neville beats West Monroe 28-7. The first time West Monroe has lost a game to an opponent from Ouachita Parish since 1995. Now, granted, that when you look at that streak, there were some years they didn't play Neville during that time. I mean, the regular series stopped in 2000, and they played 2 games in 2009 and 2010, and they didn't resume playing every year till 2017. But it wasn't so much that Neville won because I thought these teams were pretty evenly matched. But when you look at how Neville did it, they did it in the trenches. But both lines of scrimmage really, asserted their will against West Monroe. And when you're talking about the West Monroe Rebels, as impressive a program as that is, they've made their bones, up front. So for them to do that was a very big takeaway for me.
Adam, thank you. We appreciate everything you've done for us over the last 3 or 4 years you've been with us, and wanted to congratulate you on your new gig. You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, I'm excited to get down there. I picked a heck of a time to jump on LSU right now with what things are going. But I'm looking forward to it. It's a bit bittersweet because Monroe and Ouachita Parish in northeast Louisiana has been so good to me since I've been doing this, and can't thank all the great people up here enough for that. But as far as my coverage, I'll still be in all. You can read me in all the USA Today properties here in Louisiana. That'll be the News Star, the Shreveport Times, the Town Talk in Lafayette, the Daily Advertiser in Lafayette, and the Town Talk in Alexandria, and in the Opelousas Daily Times. So it's going to be fun. So I would encourage folks that have enjoyed all this over the years to come with me on this journey, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be it's going to be fun going forward.
Anything surprising you up in North Louisiana football in the Northeast section that you cover right now? I know West Monroe, that's what their second loss, Catholic High and then Neville, and then they get Alexandria next week, and they are as hot as anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, we get to week 10, and Neville's going to go. I mean, not Neville, but West Monroe's going to go over to Lincoln Parish to play Ruston, and Ruston got a huge win tonight over St. Thomas More. And as good as A.J. Allen is for Neville, he's committed at tailback. He had 256 yards and 4 touchdowns tonight, and he's committed to TCU. But he is going to take a visit to Alabama tomorrow. So that's something to watch going forward. But Ruston's got a kid named Dyson Fields at tailback who is also very good. He had 240 yards and 4 touchdowns against St. Thomas More tonight. And that's the St. Thomas More team that beat Neville last week. And, I was so impressed watching Walker Howard. He's the real deal. But, it might be kind of get back to when Todd Black was in school that Neville and Ruston are kind of rolling the roost up here right now.
I told Jimmy about the Neville game is that the trenches, I said offensively, they would put 9-10 guys up at the line of scrimmage, and they would get Neville maybe 1 or 2 times. But if A.J. Allen got through there, and he's so good at finding that little crease, it's a big play for him. And he's really had big plays the last 2 weeks. But you got to give credit to that offensive line for being able to block as many people as they have up there, because they're basically saying you're not going to throw it. And Neville's not, and they still can't do anything with it. And, Ruston, again, Tannehill told me that he thinks this is one of the bigger Ruston lines he's ever seen. So I said earlier, you got to run the ball and you got to play defense to win.
Will Campbell, who will be in Baton Rouge in about January, that's as good a high school offensive lineman as I've ever seen. And to see him just do it against everybody, do it against West Monroe, just driving people into the turf, that's something that Tiger fans should be excited about. But, you know, and I think this is the ultimate compliment to A.J. Allen, too, is you look, Jerry Arledge at West Monroe. He's been the head coach for the past 8 years, but before that was Don Schaus as defensive coordinator. And I really believe that as good a defensive coach as has ever coached in this state in high school football. He, you know, his adjustment going into the third quarter, and Neville received the opening kickoff in the second half, is he put 5 guys in the line of scrimmage and said, okay, we got to figure something out. And A.J. busted a 75-yard touchdown on that opening drive. So that's how good A.J. Allen is.
How big is he?
You know, he's not very big. He's 6 foot. He's about 175 right now. He could probably carry a little bit more. And he's a kid that, you know, he's always had this potential. We've been hearing about him and talking about him since he was in junior high. But it's just been a deal to where, you know, he had to wait his turn. And then last year, you know, he split time with Timmy Bird mostly because he had a groin injury that was never right all year. And this is really his time to shine. And, you know, as far as recruiting goes, he's committed to TCU right now. They were the first ones to offer him, and TCU really does a great job in North Louisiana, especially in Northeast Louisiana, just identifying kids that can play in their system. And, you know, from my talks with him, he's very loyal to that because, you know, they were able to go out on the limb and get him that offer. But, you know, we'll see. I think more schools will come calling. You know, as far as LSU's concerned, I think he's better than Trey Hollett and Union Parish. I really do. And I know, you know, LSU's offered him for the class of 2023. So, you know, we'll see how this plays out, whether that loyalty will pay off in the end for TCU or if the big boys come in, and, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Todd and I talked about that. The big boys are coming with the numbers he's putting up.
Last one I want to talk about is Oak Grove. I believe they started out 0-3, but is that something to worry about, or they just took time to get rolling?
That's a deceptive 0-3, and I'm going to tell you why. If you know the history of Oak Grove football going all the way back to Big Dalrymple, they're going to schedule that in non-district regardless of what they have coming back. And, you know, going into this year, they knew they were going to have to replace arguably the most successful senior class in the history of that program, and that's saying something. But, you know, they didn't shy from all comers. I mean, they opened up with Mangum. Then they played OCS. Then they played Sterlington. So, you know, Ryan Gregory decided we're going to find out what this team is made of. And I firmly believe that Oak Grove will be in the semifinals and push to get into the Dome. It was just a product of having a freshman quarterback in Jackson Bradley, who I think is going to be very good. And then, you know, replacing guys like Ron Creighton at tailback and, you know, all the great defensive players they have. So, you know, that's why I say that record is deceptive, and it's kind of, you know, what Oak Grove has done for a long period of time. But they're going to be in the thick of this when we get down to November and December.
Hey, guys, I know nominations for Hall of Fame are coming up for the LHSAA. Vic Dalrymple's name is in the hat. He needs to be in the LHSAA Hall of Fame. He's that good of a coach for Oak Grove and just the state.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, go ahead.
I couldn't agree more. I was going to say I couldn't agree more, and I realized, you know, there's a log jam of coaches in the LHSAA Hall of Fame right now, and, you know, hopefully that's something that can that can get fixed. Even though I'm recovering LSU, I'm going to do what I can to try to, you know, make sure we can, you know, get that taken care of.
Well, Adam, we appreciate your time here on the Scoreboard Show. I know I appreciated the opportunities you had for me on the preview show. Best of luck in your new venture.
No, I appreciate that, and thank you all, and keep doing what you're doing, and, you know, highlight, you know, high school sports in the state. We all know how important it is and how much people care about it, and stuff like this is just really good for everyone.
Stop by the studio when you get down here. Come see us one Friday night.
Hey, we may do that. Y'all make me a place, and we'll figure it out.
Oh, we can do that.
We can do that.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Adam Hunsucker, formerly with the News Star, but we'll be covering the Tigers on Saturday, moving from Friday to Saturday.
Very knowledgeable about the whole area up there. He's good to pick his brain, as he's just so busy. He's got in Northeast. I was going to say NLU, but University of Monroe. He's got everything. He's missed, I don't know what they're going to do to
him
recover.
and Corey Diaz, I
Yep.
think it is, are the only two they have up there, and they do a phenomenal job. There's no doubt about it.
We'll take a time out, and when we get back, we'll get you updated on a couple more scores and look ahead to what's coming up in Week 6 a little bit down the road. This is the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my four boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
The Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Kate Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We now hop back on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and we're speaking with a Victoria's head football coach, Neil Weiner from Dunham. They get the win in overtime tonight over Southern Lab, 27-20. Coach, congratulations on this win. I know you got to be real proud of your guys tonight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, all of our kids, both sides of the football, special teams, are just a great, great win for our kids and our program. It was our homecoming game, and Dunham and Southern Lab were longtime rivals in District 6-1A or whatever, 7-1A, whatever it was back in the day. So it's the first meeting since 2006. And it was our homecoming game, so we had lots of alumni that were coming around this week and out for pep rallies, and all of them would ask the question, hey, is this kind of the same old Southern Lab, most talented team in the area, but, they're not disciplined and they're not well coached? I told them all, absolutely not. These kids are super disciplined. They play clean. The class acts, they're very, very well coached. A great coaching staff over there. And they played so hard. When games go to overtime, obviously they're thrilled for your kids. But when you walk across the field to shake hands, you can't have a smile on your face because the game could have gone either way. And Coach Asbury's kids played great.
Y'all celebrating with a little Chris's specialty foods right now?
That's it. No doubt. Get some chicken cracklings, and
there you go.
We'll be ready to go.
There you go, Neil. Going back, coming into this game, you're 2-2, and in my notes, I wrote at the bottom of the page, your tough schedule, playing Parkview, playing Mandeville, playing U-High, playing Southern Lab. I think by playing U-High, Mandeville, those type teams, this prepared you for a really, really good Southern Lab team.
Absolutely. I mean, we picked up Mandeville Monday night and, started putting together a game plan, and our kids played their tails off. It was 7-6 at half. It was 13-6 late in the third quarter, and they just kind of wore us down. And then we played U-High, who is just such a great program and great players. But, man, Andy Martin does such a fantastic job. And they whipped us. I mean, they just did. They just outclassed us. They were better than us the whole night. At the same time, we had 3 possessions in that game where we got inside the red zone and we turned it over. And, we gave up a big play to start the game. And so we were able to use those games to say, look, these are great programs, great players, great coaches, and we did a lot of good stuff. If we can just keep plugging along, chop wood and carry water, just keep doing your job every day, it's going to pay off, and it certainly did tonight.
On your last touchdown to either kick or go for 2, can I get your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So our kicker made 3 out of 4 attempts, but they jumped off sides on 4 straight attempts. And so the first one, they jumped off sides. We made it. We went ahead and declined the penalty. We lined up again. They jumped off sides. We made it. We declined it again. And then on the third one, they jumped off sides. It was even more egregious than the previous 2. They blocked it, and there was no flag thrown. So I kind of did like the pro shuttle, the 5-10-5. I sprinted out about 10 yards and stopped on a dime. Got a flag thrown on me. So we lined up to kick a 4th one and made it again, but they jumped off sides again. And so at that point, we went to our under center, over front on the offensive line, unbalanced look that we had done successfully earlier in the game and really have been successful with all season long. And so we just thought, hey, they're going to keep doing that. They're going to give us the ball on the 1.5 yard line, but we're just going to punch it in.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't.
That's all the offsides. So there's like 5 in a row. So it's and that's even makes the win that much better because it's like a team that's fighting for their coach or they're fighting for each other, and to get that win is huge over such a big team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, I decided to do that because I believe in our guys. I thought for sure, there's no doubt they're about to punch it in right here, and we're going to put this thing away for good. And then, it didn't work out the way that we thought. But then our kids, they love each other so much, they wanted to fight so hard for each other, and they did. Because of the penalty that I got, it moved us back 15 yards on the kickoff, which gave them even better field position. And but our kids, man, they just bowed up, made us stop it right in the end of regulation, and then But the other part, we were down 20 to 7 with about 7 minutes to go, and we had turned the ball over. We had a nice drive going, and we turned the ball over. They threw a pass. Our safety came up, just splattered the receiver. Ball popped loose. We get it, and we go down and score. We converted on a 4th and 12 with a great throw from Hayden Hand to Jordan Dupre, and then we scored. We stopped them, got the ball back, put together a great drive, and scored again. Kalante Wilson, 4 touchdowns on the night. It was awesome.
Well, I appreciate you answering the question. I didn't mean for it to sound like a jackass question to you.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, I'm an open book, man.
Neil,
no ego over here.
Neil, we've talked about Kalante, and we talked about your quarterback, Hayden Hand. We talked about Matthew in the earlier interview, your son, who's having an outstanding year as a receiver and also being a leader on defense. I was texting with Caleb Lindecker, your new defensive coordinator, today to get a few defensive names in anticipation of this being a close game, and he named several of them: Malachi Jackson, Colin Bolt. Is that how you say it? Bolt. Maybe your best player safety. Lawrence Watts, he's a senior leader. Couple brothers, Samoan brothers, I think it is, at linebackers, and Jake Rizzo, who already has college offers. Talk about just some of those guys on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job. It's great still having Randy here and having his presence. Caleb has just done a fantastic job of organizing that whole unit. And our kids, they look up to him, so much. He gets them fired up to play and always has them in the right spot. I thought they had a great game plan against a very talented offense in Southern Lab. But those kids are fantastic. Malachi Jackson is just a sophomore. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the city. He is fantastic. Jake Rizzo was making big plays out there. Yeah, the two we call them the two Samoans, Penna Albert and Sione Albert, two Bash brothers inside at linebacker were fantastic. Matthew he had a great game. I mean, he double-digit tackles. But Colin Bolt has just been he's a thumper. He comes up from that safety spot and he knocks people out. I mean, he is fun to watch because he's a big, strong athlete playing safety and just has good instincts and has been making plays for us. So just across the board, the defense was fantastic.
And Todd, one thing about all these guys we talked about, you look at it, sophomore, junior.
Yeah.
You got two seniors with Watts and Weiner, but then you got your linebackers, sophomore, junior, Rizzo on the back end, or D-line, junior. So the future's bright.
I want to cut you off because we're still trying to schedule games for next year. And
no kidding, right?
We haven't got signed contracts yet from our guys. So.
Hey, don't take those big games from Matthew for granted. He's doing a heck of a job, and I know you recognize it. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm really proud of him. He had a play tonight that I know he wanted back. He made a mistake on and gave the ball back, and it was Bobby Boucher tackling fuel from that point on. I mean, he really was. He was a tackling machine out there tonight. Made some great open field tackles. Made some great tackles in the box. He did a great job. Really proud of him.
Well, Coach Weiner, we always appreciate your time. Congratulations to your team, and look forward to talking to you again down the road.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us on here so we can brag on our kids.
Thank you,
absolutely.
Neil.
Another good district. You see
that Dunham Episcopal game again is gonna be a barn.
And one of the toughest bracket in the state, I'll say. You're gonna have Lafayette Christian in there. You have St. Charles Catholic. It's just a really Newman. It's special. I'm not coaching in it though.
We'll take a timeout. We'll get you caught up with the full scoreboard when we return. This is the Week 5 edition of Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Cox Sports Television.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law. ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served the Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, Week 5 edition. Let's get you caught up on scores, and we'll start first in the New Orleans Bayou area.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, cared for by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
Chalmette 45, John Ehret 20. St. Aug and Brother Martin will play tomorrow. East St. John 8, Hanville 3. George Washington Carver 15, LB Landry 13. Shaw and Rummel will play tomorrow. Jesuit a 51-7 winner over Holy Cross. Destrehan blanks H.L. Bourgeois 45-0. And Vanderbilt Catholic and St. Charles will play tomorrow.
The Capital City Scoreboard, served by walk-ons.
Zachary 35, Woodlawn 28. Central 56, South Lafourche 21. Liberty 34-27 winner over Stroma. Parkview a 23-22 winner over West Feliciana. Edna Carr 56, St. James 14. De La Salle 41, Scotlandville 32. Dunham 27, Southern Lab 20 in overtime. And Episcopal 42, Catholic Pointe-Coupee 12.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Natchitoches Central 23, CE Bird 10, Benton 42, Houghton 21, Logansport 38-24, winner over Rose Pine, Neville 28, West Monroe 7, Manny 44, Red River 31, Sterlington a 45-14 winner over Jennings, Huntington 36, Evangel 34, and General Trask 48, Vidalia 0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, strengthened by Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic.
Como 44-23 winner over Sam Houston. Notre Dame defeats Cecilia 13-3. Catholic of Baton Rouge 38, Lafayette Christian 17. Ruston a 51-27 winner over St. Thomas More. Church Point blanks Eunice 35-0. Iowa shuts out Pineville 42-0. Carencro defeats St. Martinville 45-12. And Westgate over at Lake Charles College Prep 28-12.
The North Shore Scoreboard, presented by Livingston Parish Councilman Gary Talbert.
Amite defeats Lakeshore 40-28. St. Paul 35, Hammond 0. Franklinton defeats Belle Chase 47-33. Slidell point better than Mandeville 36-35. St. Thomas Aquinas 19, Archbishop Hannon 6. Springfield 42, Ben Franklin 12. Varnado shuts out Bogalusa 26-0. And Riverside 43, Albany 34.
Thanks so much to Skip gathering and posting our scores through at Louisiana Prep on Twitter. You can follow us there, or also Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on Facebook if you were following us on social media. Guys, one of the scores that I wanted to make sure we get to, here locally in the Baton Rouge area, and I'm pretty sure it's like this around the state. Next week, if you haven't already gotten into district play, you probably will next week, and that is the case for much of these districts like 4-5A and 5-5A. And here in the Baton Rouge area, 5A teams like Zachary getting a win tonight over Woodlawn.
A little closer than I think Coach Brewerton would have wanted. 35-28 winner, Zachary over Woodlawn. Zachary was up 21-7 at half. Could not put Woodlawn away. Marcus Randall and those guys are as talented as anyone that you'll play. Coach Brewerton was worried about them because he said they're one of those that when they get off the bus and when you look at them on film, there are no weaknesses as far as their line, good size on both sides. He talked about two of their running backs, how good they were. Of course, Ricky Collins can keep you in a game. And the thing that scared him, Coach Brewerton, about Woodlawn, even though they had lost last week 27-0 and they lost to U High, was they had missed just a couple deep ball by inches. And he said, had they made those plays when they missed them, then it could have been different ball games. So that was something that he was worried about. They may have hit a couple of them tonight.
Isn't this the first week they played back-to-back weeks, speaking of Woodlawn?
Yes. And you look at Woodlawn against U High. Go back to that game. There were 2 turnovers in the red zone by Woodlawn. So I think it was a good game. I think both of the teams learned something tonight. I know Coach Randall would have wanted to get out of there with a win. That would have been huge for his program. But Zachary was able to survive. Zachary's averaging, 48.5 going into tonight. Eli Holstein's just been lights out. I think he'd thrown 8 incompletions on the year going into tonight.
Zachary and Live Oak next week at Live Oak.
Well, Live Oak is another team we hadn't mentioned a lot of. They're 5-0 right now. Not a very strong schedule, so we really don't know who they are. We're going to find out next week. You're going to find out there are several teams. Santa Maria, they're another one that is undefeated, but we do not know what they have because they have not played the competition. So when you start getting into that district, you're going to play somebody every week. And I think the thing about the 4-5A district and the 5-5A district, in the 5-5A, Catholic's head and shoulders above everybody, I think, right now. Everybody else is 50-50. Dutchtown, EA, Santa Maria, Woodlawn, those are going to be some heck of some battles, right, Todd? And then you go to 4A, you have, I think, Scotlandville, even though they lost again tonight, which was a shocker to me, to De La Salle 41-32. And Zachary are a little bit above everybody talent-wise. The other ones are 50-50 games. But if Scotlandville keeps playing like they have been,
minus the penalties,
they're going to they're going to lose a game they shouldn't lose.
Right.
Penalty-wise, 65 penalties in 3 games. They had 30, 16, and 19. You can't do that against good teams. De La Salle, how about De La Salle, though, Todd? They come back. They lose the first week
3-0.
3-0 to St. Charles. Then they go over to
Lake Charles College Prep.
Lake Charles College Prep.
You sound
win
like
that
me
game,
now.
right? And then come back and put up 41 against Scotlandville.
Yep, that's impressive. You know,
yeah.
and I was going to tell you the undefeated teams in 5A right now are Catholic, Ponchatoula. Bird lost tonight. You have Captain Shreve, Dutchtown, Natchitoches Central, Alexandria, Santa Ma, Zachary, and Live Oak. And then you have 2 schools in New Orleans that have started later. Brother Martin is 2-0, and Archbishop Rummel is 2-0. So there's quite a bit of undefeateds, whereas you look in 4A, you just have Carr and Turling's Catholic.
You know, in Santa Ma, you know, maybe I say it's hard to judge where they are. They've played a lot of their games, if not all of them, on Saturday, playing them at Dutchtown.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it just really hadn't had – we haven't talked about them a whole lot because we haven't had their game results coming into tonight's show. Tonight's the first night they've played on a Friday. So getting into that routine and now getting into district play, we'll have a better chance of seeing what they're made of.
Shout out to a lineman there at Santa Ma. Junior, played for me over at the Broncos, Mason Vaughn. Good kid, big boy, 6'4". Yeah, he's got a lot of growing to do still.
Bel Air over Plaquemine tonight.
Interesting,
Bel Air over
to
Plaquemine.
see what's going on in that district.
Liberty over Ostruma 34-27. Worried about Liberty because coming in there with 3-0, they had outscored their opponents 161-7, averaging 53.7. But the teams they had played were 0-11. So we really didn't know how good Liberty was. But in Drake Trosclair's first year, this game here to go over to Ostruma and beat them, that may decide the 7-4A race, especially with the way Plaquemine's playing now. So congratulations, Coach Drake Trosclair over at Liberty.
Yeah, that district's turning into a different direction, seeing it as Plaquemine's had a rough go so far. Let's go ahead and jump back on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and I believe we have Parkview Baptist head football coach Stefan Lafourche joining us now. Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and boy, a heck of a finish. What a second half for your ball club.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, guys. The old classic tale of 2 halves there for sure. You know, we started the game out slow. West Feliciana's got a lot of weapons, and we were worried about their speed, and they exposed us in the first half. And you know, the challenge at halftime was to stack plays on top of one another and win each play, and good things will happen for us. And we kept chipping away, and guys all over the place were making plays offensively, defensively. Special teams was huge. And, you look up and we're in a tight ball game, and momentum was obviously turning, and we were able to capitalize. And, just a huge win for us at this point in the season, after, just a slow start both in this game and into our season overall. So really excited and proud of our kids for battling back.
Coach, I'm over there helping old Kirby with All-Star Football. I see your boys working very hard every day. How important was this win for those guys?
Yeah, just the morale of the team, and we preach to our kids that the people in our room, within our 4 walls of our locker room and our football complex, it's the only people that matter. We know what we're putting into it, and we keep plugging away. The things are going to happen for us. The ball's going to bounce our way, and it sure didn't look like it early on, but again, they responded to our challenge to them in the locker room at halftime, and we really needed this. Westfall's a good team, and their record may not show it, but they have weapons, and they keep us up at night with all the different things that they do. And so, just again, really proud of our kids and excited that they get to enjoy a win, a big win like this from behind, and going into next week. Hopefully, we can kind of bottle this up and continue on next week.
Coach, was there one play that kind of turned the tide a little bit to give you the momentum? Usually when it's 22-0 at halftime, it's not really a slow, methodical comeback. You usually have to hit a big play offensively, get a turnover, special teams play, something that kind of gives you the momentum to carry you the rest of the game.
I don't know if it was one. We had so many big plays. It comes to mind. I mean, I obviously getting stops on defense was huge. Big plays. I know our sophomore quarterback was able to make some plays with his legs and extend, plays in the pocket. He made a huge throw to Jay Richardson, a junior wide receiver for us, a big diving catch in the end zone to score after a blocked punt. So, special teams was huge. We had a blocked punt, we had a big punt that gained 34, 35 yards or something like that. So I don't know if it was one particular play, but there were a handful of big plays that kind of continued to just turn the momentum, and kids were able to capitalize on that.
And great game, Cave, in their second half to come out and shut West Feliciana with that much speed to shut them out in the second half. Definitely helped your momentum, Coach.
Yes, no question about it. I'll be honest. We thought we were going to get ran out of the gym, so to speak. They were going to boat race us, and the way it started, it's like first play of the game for them. Shot over the top on a post route to that standout receiver they got, number one, and it was like, oh boy, and they their speed was on display early on, and again, just plugging away, and you can see the momentum turning. The game of momentum is hard to stop, and they were wearing down a little bit, so it seemed, and again, just able to plays on top of one another and go put it in the end zone and go for two. We felt good about the play that we had, and the kids executed, and of course, when it works, everybody looks like a genius. It didn't. We look like morons.
That's right.
It worked out in our favor. We were able to take the lead and hold them there at the end. They drove and got it in field goal range, and then it came up short for them. And fortunately for us, we were able to come out on top.
Yeah, great effort by your team tonight. Great come from behind victory as Parkview Baptist defeats West Feliciana tonight. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll look forward to talking again down the road.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys, for all you do for high school football. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And Todd's over here talking with me off the air, and he said he sounded relieved. And
he does.
He does. You think about it, he lost some tough games early. It's not the Parkview standard. It's not their tradition of being starting the year 0-3. But,
right.
he lost to a good Dunham team, which has turned out to be pretty stout. He lost to a tough game to Bruley. Bruley was. So, and then Madison Prep. So Bruley's still undefeated right now. So teams he lost to are turning out to be pretty good. Maybe they weren't as bad as a lot of people thought they were. And it's a 2-game win streak for Coach LaFleur's in Parkview. And
Jimmy, people get caught up in, they lost to Dunham, 2A Dunham.
And
you can't look at stuff, I don't think. So look at Lafayette Christian. Look at a car you lost. Teams change. The dynamic of a team changes. And, the classification's basically what your school is, but it doesn't necessarily mean those are the type of players you have. And, you just hear a lot of Parkview people that we've never lost to a Dunham team or that type of thing. But Dunham's obviously pretty good.
Yeah, Dunham's pretty good.
And it's good because it does sound, Cade, like he's just like, you could hear when he would talk, it's just like, yeah, it's one of those things you lose sleep over, and hopefully he can get some sleep tonight with that win.
Yeah, because for about 24 minutes, it didn't seem like it was going to be anywhere near that, but it does come out victorious for Parkview Baptist tonight. A timeout, and we'll be back to wrap up tonight's Week 5 edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Do you have or have you had COVID-19? Antibody screening or rapid molecular testing can tell you. Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours offers both with results from molecular testing in minutes. Learn more at lakeurgentcare.com.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Week 5, putting in the books. We're going to start the second half of the season next week. Any key takeaways from tonight? Jimmy, I'll start with you.
Well, first, Westside wins again, 54-33.
Weren't they down on a lightning delay?
Yeah, but I think Coach Josh was confused with who they were playing. And another game we didn't mention, Notre Dame over Cecilia, 13-3. Cecilia had been on a roll, but they lost their quarterback last week to a ruptured spleen, and he's been lights out for him. He's a guy that makes them go. It'll be interesting to see how quick and if he can return, because Cecilia's a good ball club. My thoughts, Kate, Neville over West Monroe obviously sticks out. Natchitoches Central over Byrd. Ruston, the way they beat St. Thomas More in the Walker Howard injury. Dutchtown with a big win. Dunham over Southern Lab I thought was huge. De La Salle showing up and playing Scotlandville and beating them the way they did. Those are some of the ones that stick out to me.
I think it's going to be big for Dutchtown next week, how they come off that win. They have Woodlawn. Ruston that you'd mentioned. I think Westgate over Lake Charles, was a big one. Also, Karen Crow beating St. Martinville 45-12, although we thought that, that'd be a pretty good team in St. Martinville, and they will be.
Thought it would be a little closer.
Yeah,
didn't,
for sure.
Not surprised.
Brewley's 5-0.
Yeah. Some big games tomorrow. St. Aug, Brother Martin, Rummel, Shaw, St. Charles, Vanderbilt. So I know they got some good college games on, but if you're in that New Orleans area, go there. And, again, congratulations to Central and South Lafourche. I thought what Central did tonight was a class act, giving South Lafourche the gate. Todd McClure had a foundation, gave them $5,000 on top of the $100,000. So it was a good thing out of Central.
What's Holy Cross's record?
1-2.
So
they got hammered tonight.
Well,
Jesuits.
Salt Formaggio was big with private schools recruit. He's obviously not a very good recruiter.
Well, he might need to be.
But I bet he doesn't think that way now.
That was, like I said, that was the 100th straight year for those two teams to play. 75th game between those two at Tad Gormley. They'd moved it last year over to Hammond and played at Strawberry Stadium. So because of Corona restrictions down in COVID restrictions down in New Orleans. So good win for Coach Manali.
3 teams we watched a lot last year are having success this year: Grand Lake, Donaldsonville, and General Trask. They're following, good seasons up with another good season, which usually means you're starting to develop some consistency.
It wasn't just a flash in the pan. They're building something.
You talk to the people, and the name skips me right now. The guy at at General Trask.
Trina Wells.
Yes. They talk about him being one of the better coaches as far as fitting a community, building a program. We always talk about the right fit. He's it.
Which Tigers win tomorrow?
Going to most points.
Politically correct.
Which team shows up? That's
Eagle 98.1 game day starts at 3 p.m. And we will see you on Sunday night at Walk-Ons in Zachary for Todd Black